Meet candy corn and candy cane. This one's candy cane. The first one I made, I used green and red felt. And I tacked down the ears so that they would flop down a little and gave them a bit of a fold so that they look more, I don't know, they just look more like dog ears that way. Candy corn was made with scraps, so the tail ended up quite short. Pepper's curious what I'm doing. The ears I didn't bother to weigh down in any way, so they're kind of sticking up. But anyway, this one is just cotton. Another difference, this one is stuffed with polyfill, while candy cane got just fabric scraps, because I made candy cane first and didn't have any polyfill yet.
It's a pretty straightforward, simple pattern. You can screenshot it here. Step 1, obviously, is to cut out your pattern pieces, and also to decide whether you want to give your dog pointy ears or rounder ears. I went with the pointier ones. You'll notice the pattern said to cut 4 ear pieces. That's because the first step is to turn them into 2 ear pieces, so your dog will have an inner and outer ear. So layer 2 of the pieces together and sew around the edges, and then repeat with the other pair. If you're making the dog out of felt or something else non-fraying, you can skip this step and just have a single layered ear. Next, you'll be attaching the ear to the dog's head. You can do this midway down the head, or you can attach it along the curve at the top of the head where it will be caught in the seam where the back piece attaches. When attaching the legs and belly to the sides, I find that it's easier to align it properly if you join up the corner where the leg meets the belly, rather than if you start at either the front or the back. Go down and around the first leg and up to the chest, then down and around the second leg, attaching the other body piece. Go along the belly, attaching the belly piece to the second side piece, then down and around the leg, down and around the other leg, attaching it to the first side piece again, and then across the belly to where you started. Next, we'll be attaching the back piece to the side piece. We'll only be doing this along one side, starting at the snout, going up and around the head, then down the back towards the tail. You don't want to attach the other half of the back to the other side because you'll want an opening so that you can stuff your dog later, and so that you can turn it right side out if you've been doing a cotton dog that will be turned rather than a felt dog assembled from the outside the entire time. Sew the dog's chest and the lower half of the muzzle shut, and then sew the tail and the butt shut. This is the point where you'll be inserting stuffing into your dog. Or if you've been making one inside out that will be now turned right side out, this is the point where you turn your dog right side out and then stuff it. Once it's been stuffed to your liking, sew the other side of the back closed and use a ladder stitch if you're doing a turned dog. Otherwise, continue with a whip stitch. I guess I never mentioned which stitches you should use. If you're doing a felt plushie where you assemble the whole thing from the outside, use a whip stitch. If you are doing a turned plushie, then you'll want to have used a running stitch previously, which won't show as much from the outside, and you'll want to do a ladder stitch now. This definitely would have been easier to follow if I had remembered to actually film the process while I was making candy cane and candy corn. But if I was at all comprehensible, then hopefully you will have gone from this to this.